Hey guys, Miss Smith here. Just wanted to spend some time doing my own ed puzzle for you guys. So I wanted to go over some of the learning that you guys did yesterday and also show you how it connected to last unit using our algebra with one-step and two-step equations. So a reminder on vocabulary, one of the things we're going to start with is adjacent angles. These are two angles who, when you put them together, they share a common line segment. Vertical angles are different. They do not share a line segment. So this angle that's 110 right here, it has a vertical angle on the other side of it that is also 110. So vertical angles are opposite of each other and they do not share a common side. So to get into today's learning, we will need to know both of them. Okay. This is our first example here. I'm going to pause and see. I'm going to have you decide, should we be solving for A using adjacent angles, or should we solve using vertical angles? So pick one of the two. All right, you should have picked adjacent angles. These two are angles that share a common line segment, this line here in the middle. So to go back to last unit with balancing one-step equations, I'm going to write this out as an equation. To solve it, I should do A plus 64, angle A, and angle 64 added together should equal 98 degrees. So to solve this one, what should my first step be? Again, my goal in algebra is to isolate the variable. So thinking back to last unit, what should the first step be? All right, so you should have chosen that I need to subtract 64 from both sides. When I do that, remember these two cancel each other out, leaving me just my variable A. 8 minus 4 is 4, 9 minus 6 is 3, so this angle should be 34 degrees. And if I wanted to go back and check, 34 plus 64 should give me that 98 degrees. So again, this is a one-step equation, why we worked hard to set those up last unit. Here is a similar one, also using adjacent angles. In this one, I have an 89 degree angle. My angle A is unknown again, but altogether it equals 120. So I'm going to write it out as an equation. A plus 89 equals 120. How should we solve it from here? Take a minute to guess, what should my first step be to isolate my variable A? All right, you should have chosen subtract 89 from both sides. When I do that, remember, same as above, these two will cancel each other out. A will be left alone. Now I just have to do this math here. 0 minus 9, remember I can't do, that would put me in negatives, and I can't do negatives. So I'm going to borrow 1 from here, put it over here. 10 minus 9 is 1. 1 minus 8 I can't do, so I'm going to put a 0 up here. 11. 11 minus 8 is 3, so I have 31. So this angle here needs to be 31 degrees to make that one be 120. And again, you can use substitution and put that back in to double check your answer. 31 plus 89 should equal 120. So this is what our algebra is going to look like for our one-step equations. This is how we solve adjacent angles. I'm now going to switch over to some examples of vertical angles. However, we also might need to keep some of what we know about adjacent angles to be true as well. So here's our first example. Again, we're going to try this using vertical angles. Right now I can see that this 133 has an angle opposite of it. So I'm going to go ahead and label that I know that angle B should equal 133 degrees because of vertical angles. However, that yet does not solve A and C. One of the things from yesterday to remember too is that a straight line, either this one or this one, they will both equal 180 degrees. So I can either choose A or C, because again, the benefit of vertical angles is once I find one of the angles, the opposite angle will be the same value. So my example, I'm going to solve for A just because I've been solving for A this whole time. I'm going to solve A plus 133 equals, and I'm going to have you take a guess as to what that number should equal. If I have a straight line here, this angle A, I'll draw it here, and this angle here of 133, what do you think that angle should equal? All right, your answer should be 180 degrees. 180 degrees. So now I need to go back to like I did on the last one. I need to subtract 133 from each side. That's going to be what helps cancel out and zero out all of the stuff that's hanging out with A. So similar here, 0 minus 3 I can't do. 8, change that into 7 when I borrow. 10, now I can do 10 minus 3 is 7. 7 minus 3 is 4. 1 minus 1 is 0. So the answer for A is that it is a 47-degree angle. And again, according to our vertical angles, this here is also a straight line. So my 133 plus another 47 will make that 180 degrees as well. So C is also equal to 47 degrees. All right, let's try one more example. I'm hoping I got enough room on the whiteboard here. Sorry if these are getting a little small. I printed them out as best as I could. So this one's a little bit different. Notice all of these angles here will add up to 360 degrees. However, there's some angles that we already know. Angle C should be equal to 31 degrees. It is a vertical angle. It is right across from that 31 degrees. Similarly, angle B is right across from the 84 degrees, which just tells me that A and D need to be the same, but we don't quite know what they are yet. So I'm going to take what I know, and maybe I'll solve this time for angle D, just to mix it up a bit. I'm going to notice that this is a straight line, and so all three of these angles above, 31, 84, and D, all of them need to add up to 180, like they did up here. 31 plus 84 plus angle D needs to equal 180 degrees. All right, so these two I can bring together because of combining like terms. These two are similar numbers. What that would be doing is finding out how much space I have with D left. So 31 plus 84, maybe if I'm not good at adding that in my head, I can give myself a chance to stack them over here, because again, stacking is a method that always works. 4 plus 1 is 5. 8 plus 3 should be 11, so I have 115. These together make 115 plus D equals 180. All right, this looks like the same as the beginning of it, our beginning of our lesson, our one-step equations. What should I do to get D by itself? I'm going to have you take a guess. What step should I do to get D by itself? All right, so you should have picked subtracting 115 from each side. And again, because 115 is positive, I need to subtract to make it negative. That leaves me a positive D. Now I need to do my subtraction. 0 minus 5 I can't do. I need to borrow. Change that to 7 and make that a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 1 is 6. 1 minus 1 is 0. So the value of D is 65. And remember, if D and A are vertical angles, then A should also be 65 degrees. All right, so this is a good refresher again on one-step equations, balancing equations, and why we work so hard on balancing equations in the last unit. So our next one that we'll be working on tomorrow is about more complicated pictures and versions of these where maybe we have to do two-step equations. All right, thanks guys, we'll see you soon, and it was good working with you.